Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to jam-packed Port Huron High School, where tonight the Class A District 28 Championship is on the line as the Port Huron High Big Reds take on their crosstown rivals from the Huskies from Port Huron Northern. This is Randy Fernandez along with David Keys, and we'll be bringing you all the action of tonight's District Championship game. But first, let me turn it over to our public address announcer, Mr. Eric Rucker, for the introduction of tonight's starting lineups and the singing of our national anthem by Liza Ely, a junior here at Port Huron High School.
Michigan High School Athletic Association welcomes you to Port Huron High School for tonight's District 28 Championship game between the Northern Huskies and the Port Huron High Big Reds. Fans, coaches, and players are reminded that the athletic skills displayed today by the participants will serve them for only a few years. The sportsmanship displayed today will provide a lesson for a lifetime for all in attendance. Remember, good sports are winners. Before we greet tonight's starting participants, we ask that we stand and listen to the national anthem sung by Miss Liza Ely, a junior here at Port Huron High School.
only fitting that these two teams should make it this far to play for the championship game.
Well, you know, Randy, they both split the games this season. High won on Northern's court, Northern won on High's court. What a perfect place to settle the score here at the District 28 final ball game.
Well, this is definitely the rubber match. The winner goes on to the regionals next week at Portland and Northern. The loser, even though having a good season, packs it up for the year. Our referees for tonight's ball game, Joel Vania and Julius Traub. Let's reset the starting lineups. For Northern, Dawson in the middle, Bobby Wright and Andre Powell at the forwards, Chris Hall and Troy Snyder at the guards. For the Big Reds, Brian Coleman is the man in the middle. Keith Gates and Tony Miller are the guards, and at the forward positions, Paul Harrington and senior co-captain Terry Miller. Julie Traub, moments away from filling it up. Coleman against Dawson. We're underway. Harrington for the Big Reds.
Well, Randy, the first thing that High wants to do tonight is establish this game in their tempo, and there it is. Terry Miller with the drive into the paint and getting the easy two.
Well, in a game like this, you've got to have your senior leadership step up, and that's what Terry Miller did. We've got a foul offensively against Bobby Wright.
Bobby Wright that time doing what he does so well, taking the ball to the hoop, but give a lot of credit to Paul Harrington for stepping in and taking the charge.
Well, I'll tell you, Paul Harrington, due to the loss of a couple of Big Red players, has really stepped up and played real well the last few ball games in a starting role.
Wednesday night's ball game against Lance Cruz, he was huge, scoring 8 points in a big victory for the Big Reds. Very interesting to note right here out of the gate that Terry Miller bringing the ball up the floor for the Big Reds.
Well, Terry feels it, doesn't get that one to go. Bobby Wright off to the races. Andre Powell from 10, all net for the senior Andre Powell. 2-2 our score, just underway, District 28 championship.
Andre Powell, who was injured earlier in the season, showing no ill effects from that injury the second half of the season. He's been one of the premier players in the area.
Keith Gates for 15, a little bit short. Rebound, Bobby Wright, his second of the ball game.
Look at that man handle the ball, what a fake.
You can hear the Northern crowd behind us as Bobby Wright takes it to the hole. Northern by 2.
What a pretty drive by Bobby Wright. Great ball fake, great steal by Andre Powell.
Nice steal by Andre Powell. Was thrown. Pardon me, good steal by number 34, Chris Hall, who threw it ahead to Andre Powell. Brian Coleman hustled back, but unfortunately, it's Northern's ball right now. Right shot's up, no good. Rebound, Brian Coleman.
Oh, big rebound by Coleman, and give Coleman a lot of credit. He was the one, the senior center, who hustled back and made the play to deflect the ball from Powell and give his team a chance to set up defensively.
They've got a foul on the floor. Referee Julie Traub says, and it's going to go against Chris Hall. And Chris Hall really has his hands full defensively tonight, because you know when Terry Miller, the ball's in his hands, he's looking to shoot.
I honestly believe that Chris Hall is the key to tonight's ball game. If he plays well defensively against Terry Miller, that will be a huge uplifting boost for the Huskies, because if Terry Miller doesn't score, the Big Reds are in trouble.
Well, also, offensively, they haven't worked, the Big Reds, that is, haven't worked the ball into Brian Coleman, and I really think that one of the keys for them is to get it into the big man, number 42.
Absolutely, one of the highest recruited players in the area. He's the bread and butter man. You've got to look to him all you can.
Miller can't get it to go. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Bobby Wright quickly up court again.
Great steal by Paul Harrington. Should be a traveling violation. Instead, they got a jump ball.
I think that's a good call there. Both, again, you don't want the referees to determine the outcome of this ball game. It could have been a foul, kind of be ticky-tack. I think Joel Van did a nice job there calling just a jump ball.
Oh, definitely. I thought they might have had a traveling call, if any type of violation. Definitely not a foul call there, though. Here's Northern's motion offense against the Port Huron man-to-man defense. Expect to see this all evening. Bobby Wright left alone.
Coleman came across, did a nice job, but Bobby Wright put it back up and in. 6-2 our score, Northern by 4.
Northern applying the pressure we expected to see from them. A great move by Terry Miller, coast to coast.
Well, so far offensively, it's been Terry Miller against Bobby Wright here early in the game.
Northern distributing the ball, trying to get the ball to everybody, and so far, like you said, Randy, it's been all Terry Miller for the Big Reds.
Well, again, Wright and Miller are having fine games, but I do think you're going to have to spread the wealth a little bit on both teams.
Oh yeah, Terry Miller, probably the best athlete in the area, but he's got to look to Brian Coleman. He's got to look to get the ball to his brother, Tony Miller. And Keith Cates is a very good offensive player also, so you got to look for three of those gentlemen.
Well, Chris Hall gets a little, takes a little break defensively, and Brian Beckham checks over and has a nice job. 3-on-1, Keith Cates back. Snyder lays it up and in. Nice defensive play there by Brian Beckham.
Terry Miller's trying to do too much right now for his team. He's trying to take the ball to the hoop on every play. He's got to look to move the ball around, look for his teammates.
Now with 4:49 to go in the first quarter, it's Port Huron Northern 8, Port Huron High 4. Well, David, this will give you a chance to tell us how these two teams got here tonight.
Well, on Monday night, Randy, opening up the districts, Port Huron High had an early game against Romeo, coming out victorious 56-45. On Wednesday, the super doubleheader here on CPHS. Northern in the first game wiping out a outmanned Anchor Bay Tar team 75-50. And in the nightcap, it was the Big Reds coming out on top of the Lancers from Lance Cruz North, 56-45. However, that game was much closer than the score indicates.
Again, the winner of tonight's ball game plays Tuesday night, St. Patty's Day, at Port Huron Northern, as Port Huron Northern is the host regional site.
I'm sure that Coach Jim Early told his team to take a deep breath, to settle down. They certainly want to get into a transition game, but right now they're forcing everything. Telling Terry Miller, listen Terry, you got to get the ball to your teammates. Brian Coleman's one of the best players around. You got to look for him. I do like Jim Early's move here, having Terry Miller bring the ball up the court.
Well, you can see what Dan Hanton's done tonight. He's got assigned Chris Hall and Brian Beckham, fine defensive players, and they're going to hound Terry Miller all night. And if anything, we're going to see, as we get later in the ball game, the fatigue factor that might affect Terry Miller as he's bringing up the ball. Again, we've seen early in the year, it was Keith Cates and Tony Miller bringing up the ball.
Absolutely right. Nice catch there by Tony Miller. Good look that time by Harrington. Somebody's got to come to the ball. Nice shot by Coleman. Once again, Randy, we see Terry Miller coming out on top to even set the offense. Oh, good pick.
Nice pick by Brian Coleman. All that for Terry Miller. I was just going to say a minute ago when Paul Harrington said his pick, he moved a little bit too early. You saw a solid pick there by Brian Coleman.
Absolutely. Credit that bucket too, Brian Coleman. Terry Miller, though, has definitely come to play this evening. Should be a walk. Good call by the referee.
Well, you called that one, David. Again, Bobby Wright tried to do the pump fake up, got called on the walk. Turnover to the Big Reds.
Actually, Randy, I expected to see both teams come out here and look real tight. Lots of turnovers early, but so far they both seem to be fairly well relaxed and right into their offensive scheme of things.
Keith Cates for 15, a little bit too hard. Rebound, Troy Snyder.
Nobody runs the break better than Schneider, and nobody shoots the 15-footer better than Andre Powell.
Well, Andre Powell, 2 for 2 tonight, 100% from the floor. Tony Miller can't get it to go. Bobby Wright quickly up court. Nice pin block by Brian Coleman, but Andre Powell finish off the play. 12-6, Port Huron Northern.
Well, what started that out, though, was the shot by Tony Miller, maybe showing a little sign of being a sophomore, taking a shot with nobody there.
And we've got a foul underneath, and it's on number 42, Brian Coleman. And that's the first time that Brian's been able to touch the ball underneath and gets called offensive foul.
I'm sure that Brian thinking by now he should have just taken the 2-foot jump stop, gone up with the shot from 8 feet.
Number number 34, Eric Ratchey, checks in for Coach Dan Early's Big Reds.
Ratchey, a fine defensive player for the Big Reds. They've got him guarding Andre Powell. That's a big assignment. He's giving away at least 2 inches. Nice move by Beckham. Oh, strong move.
Big move by the sophomore, number 44, Brian Beckham, cashes in for his first 2 points tonight. The biggest lead of the night, Northern by 8.
Oh, not a good shot. Oh, nice foul, though, by Terry Miller.
Well, again, Terry Miller looking to do it all offensively. Threw up basically an air ball, but again, that's taught early. Follow your shot. Nobody blocked him out. He's going to go to the line and shoot 2. Again, I don't think that's the offense that Jim Early wants to run, though, even though Terry Miller is one of the best players in the area.
No, absolutely. You know, although we're only 5.5 minutes into this ball game, you know, at this point in time, these are 2 big free throws. If the score is already 14-6, you don't want to fall down by 10 points early in the first quarter.
Well, Terry's first free throw of the night is all net. He'll get the second.
Well, if Terry Miller makes this shot, let's see if Port Huron High jumps into its diamond press. They haven't had an opportunity to do that yet tonight.
Well, Terry doesn't need to make all 2.
There's the diamond press. Oh, nice pass. Oh, not a good, but he's got to walk.
Rob Dawson called on a travel violation. Port Huron High to inbound underneath the north basket.
Bobby Wright did a nice job to see Rob Dawson, but Rob Dawson's not the person who High wants running the break. Keith Gates is one person I do like running the break, though, I will tell you that. Oh, strong pick by Brian Coleman. Beautiful pick.
Terry Miller wanted a 3. He only got the 2, but again, another strong pick by Brian Coleman. Bobby Wright tries to answer, can't get it to go. Here comes Keith Gates.
Nice job running the break by Keith Gates, but what a strong defensive play by Bobby Wright, coming up from behind and tapping the ball out of bounds to kill the break.
Well, one thing, if you tape this game on your VCR, you won't have to put it in fast forward because both these teams are on a high pace here tonight.
Both teams willing to run the ball. This is basketball at a high-pitched fever. I tell you what, this is basketball at its best.
Well, a minute ago I mentioned on that last basket by Terry Miller.
Oh, nice pass by Cates.
Gave it to him.
Oh, thought he might have had the 3-pointer, but a good call by the referee.
We've got a foul on number 22, Tony Miller. Before the shot, out of bounds to Port Huron High.
Well, Brian Coleman sure made a nice strong move that time, but give a lot of credit to Keith Cates with a beautiful pass into him. Oh, strong pass.
Could have been a kick there, no call. Andre Powell all by himself lays it up and in.
Beautiful break. Oh, that should be a foul on Hall.
And Chris a little bit late, going to pick up his second foul. And with that, Chris is going to have to take a seat as he's picked up 2 fouls in the first quarter. And Brian Beckham, who did a fine defensive job earlier, checks back in for Coach Dan Hinton. Also, number 50, Van Williams, sees his first action tonight for the Big Reds.
Let's see how Williams, the sophomore, responds to the pressure of a district final. This is a tough situation to be in for a young kid, but so far this season he's been nothing but ice out on the basketball floor. Against Lance Cruz on Wednesday night, he hit 2 big free throws down the stretch.
Well, we saw the quick hands of Troy Snyder tipping it away from Keith Gates. Again, Keith Gates and Troy Snyder, this is a battle every year they're going to have for the next year or 2. Again, 2 of the quickest point guards you'd ever want to find.
Miller, that's a forced shot again.
Miller over Beckham, Beckham with the rebound. Andre Powell, who's the foul on? Let's sort things out.
I think that's on Keith Gates from behind.
The foul is on number 12, Keith Gates, his first. 16-11 our score with 1-3-0 remaining in the first quarter.
Powell coming into this game as the second best free throw shooter for the Huskies, shooting from the charity stripe 72%, which is very good for a high school player.
Well, Andre Powell, 2 for 2 from the floor and 1 for 1 so far tonight from the free throw line. Again, Mr. Perfection so far early on for Northern. And I didn't jinx him by saying that as he hits a second, David.
I tell you, the big players come out in the big games, and Andre Powell is definitely a big game player. Good entry pass. But see, there's a triple team on Coleman. He's never going to get a shot up in that circumstance.
Ratchey tries one free throw line extended, can't get it go. Northern on the rebound.
Here comes the fast break. Northern.
That competed against the boards by Keith Gates. Ryan thought he got fouled by Van Williams, but a no call.
Looked like there was a lot of body contact on that drive, but the referee thought that he had all ball.
Well, it looked like Keith Gates had all ball, but I thought I saw Van Williams smack him with the body. But again.
But I like you said earlier, Randy, I like to see that in the big games. Let these kids play. Let the game be determined by what happens on the court, not by the referee's whistle.
Shots up, ball net by Terry Miller. Well, again, Joel Vigna and Julie Trauber have been officiating many games. Our veteran officials, they do a fine job, or they would not be doing this game here tonight.
Absolutely, two of the area's best. Right now, it has been the Terry Miller show for Port Huron High. Without Terry Miller, this game would be over right now.
Well, the Northern fans thought it was tipped away, but it will go to Port Huron High. Well, again, Terry Miller has done a fine job offensively, but as the game progresses, I still like the man 42. They gotta get into Coleman.
Gotta look for Brian Coleman, but Northern has done a great job of double and triple teaming him every time he touches the ball. See, there's Brian Coleman, and there are two Huskies. Tony Powell doing a nice job guarding him. That had to fall. Keith Gates needed that for his confidence. He's 0 for 3 now from the floor.
3 seconds, they're gonna have to put it up just before the buzzer. Oh, and Bobby Wright cannot get the layup to go, and after 8 minutes of action, Northern 18, Port Huron High 13. Well, we want to pass it all along to our listeners in semi-final Class A hockey action game that just ended moments ago from the Flint IMA Arena. Port Huron High was taking on the #1 ranked hockey team in the state, Birmingham Brother Rice. David, the game went to overtime 0-0, and 2 minutes into the overtime, Brother Rice scored a goal and beat Port Huron High. It must have been a whale of a ball game.
Oh, I wish I could have seen the hockey game, I tell you. If it wasn't for having to be here for the ball game, I certainly would have been there at the hockey game, and a heartbreaking defeat for High. As we talked about earlier, Andy, I don't know whether I'd rather lose 10-0 or 1-0. In fact, I believe it was my choice, probably 10-0, but wow, what a great season for the Big Red hockey team.
Well, David and I want to salute Tom Miller and the Port Huron High hockey team. Just a fantastic year. Again, I guess you can't feel too bad, though, being one of the top 4 teams in the state of Michigan.
Oh, absolutely not. What a super season. Well, Randy, at this point in time in the ball game, I'm somewhat surprised at how the game's been played by Northern. I expected to see maybe a little bit more deliberate game from them, but so far the break opportunities have been there for them, and they've taken advantage of every one of them.
Well, it seems to me, David, after 8 action, even though 10 or 12 players have been in the ball game, the only names we've really talked about for the Big Reds are Terry Miller, and for the Huskies are Andre Powell and Bobby Wright. Everybody else seems to be a big player here, even though they played major roles during the year.
That's right. Nice rebound by Van Williams. Couldn't get the rebound and the subsequent shot to fall, though. Well, Beckham is wide open. Oh, great defense. Great block by Coleman.
Ryan only 6'2", but plays bigger than that.
If anybody can be termed the big hustler out here, definitely would be Brian Beckham. Oh, great block by Bobby Wright.
Van Williams went up, blocked by number 40. Bobby Wright, he takes it coast to coast, off his hands. They're going to say partially blocked, though, out of bounds to Northern.
Good call that time. I thought that there was the block and then the body contact after the ball was blocked into the crowd. Powell can shoot that shot.
Andre with his first miss, one-on-one, Cates against Troy Snyder. What a finger roll by Cates, but he can't get it to go. And Tony Miller called on the foul over the back. Well, again, Tony tried that finger roll. I think free throw line extended, but just couldn't get it to fall in for him.
One more dribble, and I think he would have had the easy bucket. He just picked it up one dribble too soon. He's such an explosive player, though. I just love to watch him play basketball.
Chris Hall and Tony Powell check in for Coach Dan Hanton. Well, again, there's a lot of talent out the floor. We've said it before, skipper basketball coach Dale Voss, I'm sure would love to have Miller, Coleman, Powell, among others, for next year for the JC team.
Schneider can hit
Snyder's
that.
first shot of the night for three-pointer, and it's good.
That's a big shot for Troy Schneider. That gets his confidence up. He's ready to play a big ball game at this point in time.
And Terry Miller called dribbling the ball on the out-of-bounds line, turn it over to Northern. And again, when Terry starts bringing that ball up, some of his players are going to have to come back and set a couple picks for him. You know, David, you and I are guards. We always want those forwards to set some picks for him.
Always looking for the pick. The guard's best friend. Well, this is a critical possession, defensive stance rather here for Port Huron High. They need to come up big and get a stop here. If not, they're looking at possibly a 10 or maybe even 11-point deficit early in the second quarter.
Northern being very patient, up by 8. They've been up once before.
2-1-2 zone being employed by Port Huron. Great defense by Brian Coleman.
Just tough man-to-man being played out there tonight.
Absolutely. Oh, great pass by Keith Cates.
Well, we've got a foul before that pass. Let's see what Joel Vania has to say who it's on. It's on White 2-2, which is Tony Powell.
Big foul for Northern. Port Huron High is already into the 1-and-1 situation, so Keith Cates will step up the line to stroke a 1-and-1.
Oh, Harrington checks in for number 50, Van Williams.
Well, Harrington's been silent so far for the first 11 minutes of this ball game. As a senior, he's really got to step up and make his presence felt.
Big
Oh,
free throw.
great
Coleman
tip.
tips up. Cannot get it to go. Out of bounds, Port Huron High. Again, big tip there by Coleman. Could just not get it to fall. And unofficially, I don't have Coleman with a basket tonight. Do you, David?
No, not as of yet. He's been shut out. He's got to feel like there's a lid on that basket. I don't know how that ball didn't fall.
The other thing Port Huron High needs is somebody else to hit that outside shot, either Gates or Tony Miller, besides Terry Miller.
We got Harrington wide open. Great pass. Good call.
He saw it, got it into Paul Harrington. Foul on Tony Powell, his second.
That was a nice pick set by Brian Coleman. He came over, set a strong pick for Paul Harrington. Keith Cates was the man who recognized that play. Give each one of those men a lot of credit.
Well, Paul Harrington will shoot 2. And again, even though it's early on, free throw is very important when it's a one-game elimination tournament. And so far tonight, Port Huron High, Terry Miller hit his first 2. Now they're 2 for 4 overall.
Paul Harrington, normally a pretty good free throw shooter, too, for a big man.
Paul splits the pair, 21-14, Port Huron Northern.
Not a problem on the foul that time, though, by Tony Miller. His team only has 3 midway through the second quarter. Not a bad foul to take, because he almost got a tip.
Another thing there, it looked like if he wouldn't have fouled him, they would have had an easy layup.
Yeah, Troy Schneider was on his way to the bucket. Well, without Rob Dawson in the lineup, Northern's had to rely on its outside shooting, and so far they've done a good job up until that shot by Andre Powell. I almost came to the jinx situation there, but they have done a nice job of stroking the ball from the outside, and that has been the Achilles heel, if there has been one in a 19-win season for Northern. The as you see now, the Big Reds have Tony Powell bringing the ball up the court. Oh, great pass by Tony Powell.
Do not count the basket foul before. Brian Coleman goal line to shoot 1-on-1. And the referee says the foul's on White. 3-4. Chris Hall, his third. And Chris is definitely going to have to come out. Ryan Beckham checks back in for him. And I'll tell you, that's one thing that's plagued Chris Hall all year. Just a fine defensive player. He draws the toughest defensive assignments. But unfortunately, because of that, gets in early foul trouble.
That's right. We've seen that many times this year. He's very aggressive. And like you said, he's always got the PT player for the opposing team, which makes things very difficult.
Coleman 1-on-1 on net for the senior center, Brian Coleman.
Brian Coleman has such a sweet stroke from the charity stripe. Very few big men have such a sweet shot from there, but watch Brian Coleman. He's got a great follow through. Gets great spin on the ball.
Brian on net, 21-16 Northern. Well, the fans didn't let us down tonight, David. The first two games were sellout crowds, and we had the marshal out there cutting off the crowd here tonight.
Northern's got to recognize what defense the Big Reds are in. They're in a 3-2. Oh, great ball fake by Schneider. Great ball fake by Schneider. Except the Huskies have to realize that Port Huron High has changed its defense now to a 3-2 zone defense. They looked a little mystified by that. Oh, great pass by Cates.
Coleman can't get it to go. Here comes Bobby Wright.
Oh!
Bobby Wright slammed to the floor by Harrington. No call.
Great
Cates
pass.
into Miller. Tony Miller.
Great decision by Keith Cates. Boy, it looked like Bobby Wright got the body on the other end then.
Powell shots up, no good, rebound. Tony Miller off his leg. Can he retrieve it in time? He gets it to Beckham. Easy layup for Bryant. He misses it. Harrington comes down.
2-on-2.
Gates pulls up for 10. Air ball, rebound Beckham.
Oh, great hustle. The sophomore clutches the easy shot, then comes back and gets a big rebound.
And that time Bobby Wright got the basket and got the foul.
Wow, what a driving shot by Bobby Wright. Unbelievable.
Bobby's only a junior. He's got a lot of ball left to play in him.
Wow, what an unbelievable shot. Gets hammered, goes underneath, and makes the shot.
Well, Bobby's been hammered a couple times down there, didn't get the call, but he's not afraid to take it up time in and time again.
There's his one weakness right there is the free throw line. Only shooting 55%, but gets the kind roll from the rim.
Again, Port Huron High still searching for somebody besides Miller to hit that outside jumper.
Oh, great block by Rob Dawson.
Cates can't get it to go. Harrington tips it back up. Foul on number 24, Andre Powell.
I like that call. It looked to me like Harrington had his hands on the ball when Powell came from underneath and hit him. Let's get that one on super slow-mo.
I think the crowd still reacted from that basket by Bobby Wright. That was another one for the highlight film. Harrington at the line 1-1. And Port Huron High continues to chip away into that Northern lead.
Oh, Terry Miller steps in there. He's got himself a rebound.
And Troy Snyder. Port Huron High did not do a good job getting back that time.
That was a defensive lap, and that cost High.
Keith Gates, free throw line extended. Keith gets his first bucket of the evening from the outside.
Boy, Keith Gates really needed that shot. He needed to get a bucket to fall. Big rebound by Brian Coleman.
Foul on Andre Powell. I believe that's his second. time Northern gets up by 8 or 10, High just has a way of keeping himself in the ball game, chipping away, chipping away.
Yeah, it seems as if so far Port Huron High is not worried about falling behind. They're willing to just run the ball down to the other end of the court and take the shot.
Number 32, John Pickett, sees his first action tonight for the Huskies.
Pickett comes into this game as the defensive standout behind Chris Hall for the Huskies. Excellent player on the defensive end, and actually on Wednesday night he was a big contributor offensively too.
Tony Miller will get the second after the first miss, and again, Northern only down by, or pardon me, Port Huron High only down by 7. Could be a lot closer, but they've got to hit these free throws. And Tony heard me that time, split the pair.
I think you're going to see Northern try to spread the floor now against the two. They've been running a box and one right now with Terry Miller guarding Bobby Wright man-to-man. Everybody else is in the zone.
Well, we mentioned Port Huron High, even though they've done a better job recently, as Bobby Wright puts up a shot. Rebound tipped up and in by Rob Dawson. I was just going to say, we have not heard Rob Dawson's name much tonight. They haven't looked to get the ball into him either, relying on outside shots. But there, Rob's got Johnny on the spot to tip it up and in.
Oh, great pass by Powell. Just so happens that Harrington wasn't looking for the ball. But you're absolutely right, Randy. Rob Dawson comes into this game shooting 56% from the field, leading the team in field goal percentage. But the reason is all his shots come within about 3 feet of the bucket. And that's where you want to get him the ball. Almost a circus shot there by Brian Beckham.
Well, Brian's going to pick up his foul. I believe it's the second on Brian Coleman, number 42 of the Big Reds.
I believe that's a non-shooting foul on the floor.
30-22 our score with exactly 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Beckham can take that shot. He can hit the 15-footer. Dawson wants the ball. He's got Coleman on his hip.
Bobby takes his shot and gets a nice kiss off the rim.
Wow, what a tough shot. I guess I shouldn't be surprised by it, though. I've seen it all season.
Again, Bobby only a junior, will be very highly recruited. An NBA three-pointer for Terry Miller silences the Northern crowd.
Wow, big shot. Terry Miller from 22 in downtown. Hammers it through the rim. Boy, I don't know how I can stress how big that shot was for the Big Reds. Oh, nice pick.
Beckham baseline over Coleman, way short. Rebound to the Big Reds.
Terry Miller says, I'm off to the races.
We're kind of blocked out by the Tiger Stadium pole, as we call it.
Beckham cut in front, made a nice play on Miller to stop him from driving.
Under a minute to go in the first half. Port Huron Northern by 7.
Oh, Harrington
just
from
inside.
deep.
Can't get it to go. Keith Gates on a rebound. Puts it back up and scores it for the Big Reds.
Well, Harrington not shy at all about putting that shot up. But credit the rebound and the score to Keith Gates. He did a terrific job that time. Went right up over Bobby Wright.
Well, again, Harrington looked good rotation, just a little bit too hard, but the only thing Paul didn't do was he didn't follow his shot.
That's right.
Keith Gates was Johnny on the spot to put it back up and good. And again, Paul only a junior, that'll come with experience.
Big Reds now playing man-to-man defense. Coleman on Andre Powell. If I was Andre Powell, I'd be looking to take Brian to the bucket.
Bobby right off balance. Can't get it to go. Coleman rips it down with 30 seconds to go.
No need for the Big Reds to push now, but I don't know if that's in their vocabulary.
Brian Coleman's going to go to the line as Bobby Wright, number 40, is going to be called on the foul, says referee Joel Vania. His second.
Good call by the referee that time. Bobby reached around, drew the foul.
Big free throws here. Brian can possibly cut it to 3 if he can make both of these. You always like it when your big people can hit the charity stripe.
Boy, it's just a bonus when you got big men who can shoot the free throws, and both Paul Harrington and Brian Coleman can do that.
Brian Coleman 4 for 4 tonight from the line. 32-29 our score.
Let's see if Northern's content here to work for the last shot.
We've got a foul. Keith Gates says, yeah, it was me, number 12. And I don't think that puts Northern in the bonus. Jim Early doing a nice job here. He doesn't want Keith to pick up any more. With only 12 seconds to go, he inserts Eric Ratchey back into the lineup.
Wow, nightmare situation there for Coach Jim Early. Keith Cates, the point guard who you rely upon, picks up his 3rd foul with 12 seconds left in the first half.
Well, Chris Hall has 3 for Northern, and now Keith Gates has 3 for Port Huron High. Andre 2 for 2.
High's going to have to push it. Terry Miller better get it down court. Ooh, not a good
foul there by John Pickett to pick up. And it looked like Terry needed some help, was going to get trapped in the corner, and John kind of brushed him.
Yeah, I really think that John did him a favor there because Terry had a long ways to go in 8 seconds to get a good shot off.
Cannot get that one to fall, though. Bobby right quickly at court. Look for Bobby to take it. Way outside. It won't go. Powell throws it up, a Hail Mary. That won't go either. And our score after 16 minutes of action. The Huskies 34. The Port Huron High Big Reds 29. Stay tuned. There's still 16 minutes of action left. Again, we're here from Port Huron High, District number 28 Finals. Please stay with us. We'll be back after these commercial messages.